guys, welcome back to the channel. If you like the content, hit the subscribe button, leave a like down below. Trying a new animated background here. If you guys like it, let me know. Sound off in the comments below. With that out of the way, we got to talk about 2K24 and the improvements I would like to see in the Create a Superstar mode, specifically that mode. Now, they have a ton of features in 2K23 that you can change. They have a ton of stuff, but it's not perfect. There's a lot of things that are left to be desired, and every year we get the same thing. Sometimes they take out stuff, sometimes they add stuff, but it's never really like a big change or something worthwhile. It's always just cut and paste. There you go. Now, with that said, they do give you more options than almost 90% of any other game with a character creator. But if they just went that little extra mile, that little few extra steps, they would be the GOAT like forever. And with games like Ultra Pro Wrestling, Casual Pro Wrestling, the Wrestling Code, and all these other wrestling games in development that we probably don't know about, they're going to have some competition. So hopefully this year we finally see an overhaul to the Create a Superstar. And here are 5 things I would like to see added for now. Obviously, I'll probably have more stuff added that I want to add. I've been playing the game again, trying to get the Platinum on PlayStation. But with that said, let's get started on this list. Number 1 on this list, and it's a big one, and it's one of my biggest pet peeves with the franchise. And it's one of the reasons why I only get to like 30 or 40 characters. I would probably come up with 100 if this feature was in the game. And that is full body morphing. See, the way they have it set up now, ever since 2K15, when 2K basically got the franchise and they decided to redo the game or change the engine, if you will, they did an overhaul and they took out body morphing. Now you have to pick from a pre-selected set of body types, and that sucks because you can never find the exact body type you want. Either the arms are too big or the legs are too big. This one's belly's too fat. This guy's head's too... Well, you can change the head size, but you get what I'm saying here? Like, this guy's chest isn't bulky enough, or, you know, the lady situation. You can never quite make exactly what you want to make. Unless you're trying to recreate a wrestler and make it look exactly like them other than the face, because they've got the face thing down. Now we just need the body morphing back so we can get the body right too. So with all these talented creators online, imagine what they could come up with if they gave us full body morphing back. I mean, you could literally make any wrestler and make them look exactly how they're supposed to look. You can make freaks and weirdos with giant arms or tiny legs, although that's probably one of the reasons why they removed it. It's because they wanted to look realistic and fit the context of the game. The biggest reason why I think they removed it, other than the modern PC culture, for the ladies obviously, is because there's so many creation parts in this game that if you give you a full body morphing tool, they're going to have to program something to where all the clothing fits to however big the body can scale. Now, Street Fighter 6 figured this out. All these other games figured this out that have character creators. 2K could figure it out with their income, their revenue that they bring in. So there's really no excuse going into 2024 and not having this figured out. We need body morphing back. You gotta bring it back. It's one of the biggest parts of any creative character. If you don't have body morphing, it really just hinders the creativity that you could possibly have. Alright, number 2. Now, I saw this in Casual Pro Wrestling, and it blew my mind. And that's to have the ability to combine 2 different hairstyles. Now you're like, wait, what are you talking about? Well, I made a video on Casual Pro Wrestling's Create a Wrestler. Go check it out. And I basically take short hair and a mohawk, and I make a unique hairstyle with it. In that game, you could literally take an afro, if you wanted an afro, and in that game, you can adjust the size of the afro and the height, everything. It's so amazing how many tools that game has. I want that in every game. And then let's say with your mohawk, or with your afro, let's say you wanted a mohawk to stick out of it, a big mohawk, right? And they could both be different colors. You could have a red afro or purple or whatever. Then you could have a cool blue or neon orange mohawk sticking out of it. That would be awesome. You can do any combination. I really want that in the 2K series and all wrestling games, to be honest. I want to be able to combine hairstyles and make my own. Now, to piggyback off of that, we got to talk about these hairstyles that have been in the game for years, and they never really got improved visually. They all look the same, or they just don't look like they belong in the game, especially the women's hairstyles. Like the long hair, it always clips through the body. It looks like it's an action figure. It doesn't look like it's actual flowing hair. And I know this has been an issue with the wrestling games since day one. So it'd be really nice if they just went through and did an overhaul of all the hairstyles. Now, I don't want them to remove any. In fact, I'd like them to add more. But they definitely got to go through that. And they got to make them look better. Because they look terrible. A lot of them do. Like the mohawk looks great. Some of the newer hairstyles look great. But those older ones that have been in the game for a while, it shows. Like you use them and you're like, eh. So we just need an overhaul of the hairstyle system. Now, number 4. Now this one might be a little difficult. I'm not exactly sure how this works program-wise, but it'd be really cool to have a texture uploader. Now CPW, Casual Pro Wrestling, the developer plans to do this. If you go watch my roadmap video on that, my last video, he has a thing where he wants people to be able to upload different textures. Any texture you can find, you can be able to upload it to the game. Awesome. Now 2K, multi-million-dollar company, probably billion-dollar company, should be able to allow you to have a texture uploader. I don't know what textures you would want left because almost everything's in there. For example, let's say a fur texture, like a fur coat. Imagine being able to take that fur texture and put it on anything. Let's say you want fur on your boots, you want fur on your jacket, you want fur on the bra, or let's say fur on a neck collar, or fur on your gloves. I mean, anything. The wrestling belts, the belt, the leather part of the belt. Imagine being a furry championship belt. That'd be awesome. Just to be something different, you know? Then you could make like a Viking warrior with, like, he made a championship belt out of bear hide or something. Just something cool, something crazy. Stuff like that for the texture uploader would be awesome. I don't know if they could use the image uploader to get that done, because if it's just an image, it won't have that furry effect. So I don't know how that would work, but again, it's 2K or Take-Two. They have tons of money. They can figure this out. It's 2024. Let's get some innovation in these games. Come on. Now, number 5. And remember, this whole thing is directed at the create a superstar, not just creation mode in general. We'll get that in another video. So number 5, my final thing I would like to see added to the create a superstar is when they get new creation parts, they're always just thrown in to the pile, if you will. You have to go through and you have to try to find where all your new creation parts are, and it takes so much time, and sometimes you just can't find them. All right, you have to go look at the wrestler that you bought. Okay, what am I looking for? Okay, there it is. And then you have to go through it again. Okay, there it is. What would be really helpful is if they just have one more tab when DLC comes out, and it just puts all the DLC creation parts in a tab, so you know exactly what you're getting, what they look like, and you can just test it out right away. Because every time a new DLC character comes out, the first thing I do is I want to go look at the creation parts, because I'm like, what can I make with these parts? Because I don't really care as playing as a real wrestler, unless it's one of my favorites. I'd rather go use those parts and make my own character. So with that, we need a tab for the DLC. And I believe I asked this to Sam in our interview, like talking about DLC parts, like where if they're going to have a tab for that. I believe he said yes. So Wrestling Code, Casual Pro Wrestling, Ultra Pro Wrestling, any other wrestling company or wrestling game company making wrestling game, if you plan on having DLC parts, please put them in a tab where you can just easily find them and they're right there. Anyway, so these are 5 things I would like to see improved or added to for 2K24 in their Create a Superstar mode. What are some things you would like to see? Sound off in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and stay frosty.